Let's begin, shall we?
Yes.
Welcome, 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 friends, to the 11th edition of the Intersection Conference! Woo! It's a pleasure to have you all here, taking time out of your busy schedules to join us for 2, maybe even 3 days of fun. It's always a delight and an annual highlight to be together with all of you. My name is Guru Røberg. It's a tricky Norwegian name. My parents didn't want me to travel, so we can practice the pronunciation in the breaks. I'm based in Oslo, where I work as a product coach in Telenor, a big, awful telco company. After 10 years in consulting, I've now stepped all the way over to the safe in-house side. So it's good to finally be out here in the free open space where we can actually talk about the things that matters and steal and borrow ideas and practices from each other so that we can go back and make a real change in the spaces that we operate. The theme for this year's conference is untangling the mess together. And there are a few elements there, right? Untangling. There's still untangling to be done, right? So I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with the awkwardness of organizations and enterprises, all the accrued technical debts and cultural debts and legacy and all the bullshit we're dealing with on a daily basis. We're here to try to fix it. So maybe we can be the comb that untangles the mess when we go back to our businesses. And together, right? This is not an individual sport. No matter how intelligent each and every one of us are by ourselves, we cannot make scalable impacts in a vacuum. So this is definitely a team sport, which is why it's so wonderful that so many people are coming from all around the world, from New Zealand to Belgium to all around the continent, to share their wisdom and ideas and thoughts. So thank you for being here and making this possible. And on the topic of together, I'm co-hosting this year, so be kind. It's a real pleasure to be here. We have 2 days of conference and 1 day of edgy for those who are sticking around for Friday. Each day will have a similar design, an opening keynote, then we'll have 3 talks on different topics, a generous and delicious 1.5-hour lunch, depending how much the speakers go over. Then we will have 2 case studies after lunch, and then we'll break for workshops. And today we will wrap up at the bar together, hopefully all of us. There's a bar very close by. There we will meet for debriefing, some fun and games, and to continue the conversations. And tomorrow we will tie a nice little bow with closing remarks here in this room all together before we go our separate ways. The design is also very much based on like the intersection spirit. So raise your hand if you're a first timer. Wow, amazing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are in for a treat. Yes, big applause. You made a good choice. But I must warn you, this is not a conference. This is not your usual sit down and think and leave type of ingestion learning situation, because the rest of us who've been here before, veterans 1 or more times, yes, the remaining 50% of the room, we know what's up. We know how important it is to pay close attention to what's being said, take active notes, and don't pretend to be shy when the Q&A opens. I know you guys. I know what's buzzing around in your mind. So after each talk, everybody will have an opportunity to grab the mic, share your perspectives, bring out a comment, a question to make sure that the conversation continues. I will be your master of ceremony these 2 days. I'll be right up here. So any speaker, when I go like this, that means you have 2 minutes left. You can choose to respect it or not. But when I stand up, it is definitely time for you to step down. So if we can have a little bit of an agreement on that, that's a good collaboration for these 2 days. Sounds good? All right. Well, with that, I will hand it over to one of our presidents, Milan, to kick off the show. Give him a big hand.
Thank you for the tip. Yeah. So welcome back and welcome everyone who's here for the first time. Yeah, so our topic, untangling the mess. We think there's a lot of mess in enterprises, around enterprises. And we are all here, like we will have, like it will get quite geeky, I think, this time, which is very nice. You know, like we have a lot of information architecture, systemic modeling, these kind of things. But I wanted to just look a little bit of what do we really mean when we talk about untangling the mess? Like what kind of mess? And yeah, so what's the mess? So a long time ago, I found this cover of Bloomberg, where they titled United's Quest to be Less Awful. I actually took United just a few days ago, and it's fine. You know, it's decent actually. But yeah, so here they have illustrated something that we call signs of enterprise awkwardness, right? So tech meltdowns, gifts, like questionable behavior, and of course customer experience that suffers in the end. And so I was wondering, is this still relevant? Because this is actually a cover from almost 10 years ago. Is this still happening? So I looked at the news. So not far from here, an enterprise was banned from entering the EU Parliament because of questionable behavior. So that's still happening. This is from yeah, like 2 weeks ago, and it's still happening. You know, 80% almost of employees are coming physically to work, maybe, and but are not actually there in their mind, so are disengaged. United, yeah, still happening. The tech meltdown, yeah, grounded. Someone put some ad there. Sorry, my ad blocker didn't really work. So yeah, so computer problems, and you know, because of the computer, the IT problems, the flight doesn't fly. So it has real impact on the physical world. And yeah, so maybe they could look into the architecture a little bit to fix that. Some guy managed to order 18,000 voters in a drive-through where they have an AI-powered like a conversational assistant going. So there's your impact on the experience, right? And now they're rethinking whether they should really have the AI there and whether that should be possible. And yeah, in other news, Ben and Jerry, the founders of Ben and Jerry's, are really unhappy because they sold to Unilever, and now they think that Unilever is actually not aligned with the identity and the original entrepreneurial idea of Ben and Jerry's. And so they are trying to free their enterprise from the enterprise that they sold the enterprise to. And so this is a real identity crisis, right? And so you see how these messes are just still relevant, you know, like old cover from Bloomberg, but it's still relevant. So this is what we are going to talk about today and tomorrow and on Friday. How can we untangle these messes? And how can we use tools like Edgy or other tools to actually make sense of what we are seeing and to maybe plot some kind of path forward that is less messy or more useful, because we kind of think enterprises should be useful. Yeah. And here's a mess that Wolfgang put into the slide deck.
So people who know me know that I'm not happy with the current state, and we can complain about the messes in the world. Yeah, the whole world is a mess. Enterprises are a mess. Yeah, but what can we do about it? When we created the theme for this year, it took me 1 month, 2 months, some jogging to find some pattern. So maybe there is a pattern. Why do we see all those mess in enterprises in the world in total? Governments are messes, countries, we know the political situations to the east, to the west, everywhere. It is a mess, and it's kind of depressing. Yesterday when I was talking with Stuart, I promised to be not depressing. So I promised Stuart, So I will have some hope in my little inspirational talk. I found one pattern and found it really interesting when I found it. The reason for the messes in the world, usually we design by a few. You have a small group of people for the benefit of a few and with a limited approach, not with a holistic approach. So if I take fast fashion, for example, you have the fast fashion industry driven by a small group of corporations. For the benefit of a few, I need to wear a Pink Floyd shirt. Of course, I need to do that, but it's not fast fashion. It's not really what we want. It's not my top task to wear a €2 t-shirt and mess things up. And finally, everything ends up on a landfill, right? So small company, a large company, but a few companies design for the benefit of a few, potentially most of the time for their shareholders, for the big money and so on. So that's not really the top task. That's not really holistic, kind of depressing. Another example may be the IT industry. We all know the messes enterprises run, the IT messes. So we stack layers of complexity on complexity, and now we put large language models on top of a data mess. We need to fix the fucking data. So the messes are getting worse and worse every day. So how come? We have a small group of companies designing for the benefit of a few. So if you look at the share prices of the big tech companies, they soar like that. They skyrocket. If you look at the share prices of the big company in Europe, an insurance company, it doesn't happen. So it's really all the big tech. Is it really for the benefit of enterprises, the benefit for people? So adopt that again. It's a similar pattern, designed by a few for the benefit of a few. And it's a non-holistic approach. We want to sell these CPOs, we want to sell licenses and so on. So nobody really is interested in this holistic approach we want to bring to the world. It's incentivated, so it's part of the system if you want. It's part of the economical system that we incentivate those messes. So now it's getting a bit depressing. So Stuart, and I think I can somehow move again and find some hope. Why not zoom out a bit? Why not take a step and fly above and go to the macro level? Look at what's beyond the masses. And of course, there's light. There's energy. Even the evilest dictators and autocrats. Also another example for design by a few for the sake of only a few. They fall every now and then. And if we look what happened over the decades, they will go away and they will come again. So it's more like a pendulum. We shouldn't be too depressed and stay in this mess with this micro focus. Oh my God, there's so many messes. Things change, nature changes, and there may be some rules of nature. Some may call it God. So where's Hari? So we had this discussion. We need some Indian philosophy. So if you are a religious person, you may say, so this is the energy of God that unites us. We are born to co-create. We are not here to create a mess for the sake of only a few people. We are born collaborators. We must be aware of that fact. It's a law of nature. It's a source of energy. If you're a spiritual person, it's there. So why not try to bring behaviors in the world that is the opposite to what is being incentivated? So co-creation. If you follow intersection group, everything is about co-creation. We talk about bridging disciplines. We are talking about bringing people together to co-create solutions that are way better. What if only some autocrats or dictators would use EDGI to design their societies and their countries and their governments? So EDGI, if you look at it, how can we create a society and a country from an EDGI perspective? Co-creation is big. Human centrism, that sounds easy. We want to focus of the people. Nobody can doubt that EDGI and intersection group is human centristic. And holism, of course. We people have a deep longing for holism. It's also another natural law, which as a conclusion means maybe the natural laws are stronger and the system that incentivates those egos. Maybe we together can find a way and put people in the center and run a holistic approach for enterprises. So we don't want to change whole governments, but we must be aware that it's about people in the focus. And we really want to do that and bring it together. So why not try to have it in this room? We're only a small community here. Why not design enterprises, design maybe later communities, and to add some hope at the final, as my final statement, I think that those natural laws, eventually, they are stronger. They are stronger than the system incentivizing big egos and the system incentivizing the masses. So why not start making it happen here in Brussels? So I welcome everybody. Let's co-create a spirit of co-creation, of holism, a spirit of human centrism, of course. And why not start here and untangle the masses together in one way or the other?